Out of all the Sonic games I talk about on this channel, the 8-bit games are the ones I touch on the least. Since I missed some of the 8-bit games in my Sonic D-Mix video, I thought, why not go over all of them separately? Starting with Sonic 1. I already know the song I'm gonna use for this section of the video because this game has a banger soundtrack. It actually has completely different compositions to the 16-bit version. I almost went to say HD version until I realized that doesn't make sense. The gameplay is pretty neat as well. Of course, it's missing that classic Sonic momentum gameplay, but I still think this game works really well as a general platformer. The fact you find the Chaos Emeralds just sort of lying around in this game is very charming to me for some reason. In fact, the whole game is pretty charming. We're off to a great start. Okay. Yeah, let's talk about this. I mean, I could sorta understand saying that the 8-bit version of Sonic 1 is better than the 16-bit version, but here? You're a sociopath. I generally don't like this one as much as the first game. For some reason, the level design is a lot weaker here. I mean, wow, I'm stuck between two spiked walls and have to jump on tiny-ass platforms? I love this game. What about this level, where you're in a pipe for half the stage? I'm having a fantastic time. I just vibe with this one a lot less in general, so it's definitely not the best one. Sonic Chaos. Now, this one is actually pretty promising. They actually started to introduce some more classic-style physics here. You can roll up slopes, go through loops. It's a lot of fun, and much more impressive than the more simplistic gameplay of the first two games. Honestly, I don't really have much to say on this one. It's just a decent little classic Sonic game. There are some weaker elements here and there, like some underwater sections, boss fights, and the special stages, but it's overall pretty consistently decent. It's also the first 8-bit game to introduce the spin dash. So. Anyway, yeah, did you know that this game was originally called Sonic and Tails in Japan? It's probably objectively better, but I'm gonna be honest, I don't think this one beats Sonic 1 for me. I just think that game is a lot more charming. I can't believe I'm even covering this game. Why is this game's frame rate like 2? There's not even that much going on here. I didn't get past the first stage, but some of these long play people are absolutely immortal, man. I would have passed out from frustration on the second level. Apparently it's only a little over half an hour, too. Yeah, I'm very thankful for YouTube. So much quality Sonic content on here. I'm not talking about this game anymore. Sonic Triple Trouble. I'd say this is one of the most polished 8-bit Sonic games. The controls are great, the levels are iconic, and the amount of unique gimmicks here is pretty impressive. There's a pretty big emphasis on set pieces as well, like this train segment, the snowboarding sections, and of course, these palace special stages, which are just iconic. The soundtrack is great as well, with a lot of tunes that just stick in your head, which is great. The later stages can get a bit tedious here and there, but that's a pretty common trend with these games, so I'll let it slide. I'm sorry, Sonic 1, but this is definitely the best 8-bit Sonic game so far. Though, of course, I can't talk about this game without at least mentioning the 16-bit remake by Noah Copeland. You've probably heard of it already, but this thing is incredible. It practically turns Sonic Triple Trouble into a brand new Genesis Sonic game, and it probably deserves a whole video of its own for that very reason. Well, we can only go up from here, right? No, we don't. Everything can very much still go downhill. I've genuinely tried playing this game, and I've just as genuinely failed at completing it. Blue Marine Zone is a bitch. This game is notorious in the fan base, probably because of its awful graphics, but I don't know, I don't mind them too much. The animation is very underwhelming, for sure, but I still think the fake 3D is kinda charming, especially for a Game Gear title. But, you know, that's not really saying much when the gameplay is lame. Yeah, I'm not playing this anymore. Let's move on to something else, okay? Sonic Pocket Adventure is surprisingly solid, but if this game came out today, fans would be furious, because this is literally nostalgia the video game. Not even the aesthetics either. The music, boss fights, and even special stages are completely ripped from other Sonic games. Specifically music from Sonic 3 though, which I thought was an odd choice. This is the case with the level environments as well. Aside from Scrap Rain, every single stage is from Sonic 2. No Sonic 3, CD, or other Sonic 1 stages to be found here. But even though the graphics may be a bit uninspired, the gameplay really makes up for it. We probably have the most accurate physics for an 8-bit Sonic game here, which makes you able to adjust to the controls immediately. This is definitely my favorite so far. Okay, here we go again. I would say you should watch my Sonic Racing Games video because I talk about it there, but I didn't really talk about it there, I just sort of skipped over it, so I suppose we should actually take a look at them here. Since I did touch on the first game already, I specifically want to focus on the sequel here. It's still bad. Wow.
Wow.
The main thing this game adds is new playable characters. We now have Metal Sonic and Fang added to the roster. And that's it. That's all I have to say about this game. Can I go now? There's a lot more variety in the graphics this time. Sometimes a little beach appears on the side of the road, sometimes these half-pipes appear, sometimes you're driving through a perfectly rectangular cave, sometimes the road is transparent and you... Okay, don't turn though, that really messed me up. It's pretty cool stuff. Although if I were the lead director of a Sonic Drift sequel, I probably would have gone for an overall to the gameplay first, but maybe that's just me. So, out of all of the 8-bit Sonic games, my favorite's gotta be Sonic Pocket Adventure. While the graphics may be a bit uninspired, the gameplay and level design are good enough to surpass Triple Trouble for me. Well, that settles it, right? I mean, that's every 8-bit Sonic game right there.
When's the labyrinth?
I have a theory.
When's the labyrinth?
Someday review Sonic Labyrinth.
When's the labyrinth? Sonic Labyrinth.
I think I have to mentally prepare before I tackle that one. It is coming, though. I hit the mic.